Yes, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you like, share and subscribe. Hope you're all good, hope you're all blessed. This video here, we're basically going to talk about the fight card on the weekend in Riyadh with David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. A bit of boxing talk, so what's going on in the boxing world, boxing news, things like that, what's happening and bits and bobs like that in it. So let's start in Riyadh, start at the card, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Let's read out the whole card, see who else is on there, what fights we're looking forward to, what fights I'm looking forward to, and then yeah, go from there. So we got David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr., Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez, and Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. So yeah, straight from the jump, let's start at the top. So David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Anthony Yarde. I'm a very big fan of Anthony Yarde still. I think he's done very good for himself. I think from where he's came from, what he's managed to achieve in the sport, what he's managed to get out of the sport, I think is very, very commendable, and it's amazing because not many people from that background, from man's background, really cut through and make it and get to that kind of level where like you're a recognizable name and like you got someone like Frank Warren that proper like backs you and supports you in it. Because from what I can remember, I don't think Anthony Yarde had like an extensive amateur career. Like I'm not sure if he had a lot of fights. I think he only had about like 10, 12 fights as an amateur. So to only have that little amount of fights, that little amount of experience as an amateur and obviously turn pro and become what he's became, I think is very, very commendable, and you kind of got to tip your hat off to him, innit? But obviously against Benavidez, obviously Anthony Yarde has had 2 cracks at world titles now, innit? So obviously he lost to Kovalev and he lost to Bertabiev, innit? So obviously this Saturday is going to be his 3rd chance at trying to win a world title. And I think this might be his 3rd and last chance of trying to win a world title because obviously he is getting on now. There's only so many times you're going to get like this type of opportunity, especially if you don't win. Do you know what I mean? So if he doesn't win, I feel like it's going to be, I don't want to say a hard road like back to a world title, because I'd never feel like it's a hard road to a world title. I think once you're a recognizable name and you have a bit of like, you have a fan base, once you're a recognizable name, I feel like you're always around the corner from a world title fight or just getting put in a position where it's like whether you're warranted it or not, you're always going to be able to do it because people know who you are, innit? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that's kind of what outrules everything, is if you can put bums on seats, if people can see your name and click on it, if people are going to actually buy to watch you fight. Do you know what I mean? So I think even if he does lose this fight, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for Anthony Yarde. I don't think it's going to be a thing where he can't come back from. Obviously, there's fights out there domestically that we would like to see. So like the Joshua Buatsi fight, I think will be really good. I think the Callum Smith fight, I think that'll be a really good, very good fight. I think there's a few fights out there, innit? There's a few fights, even something like further down the line, maybe something like a Ben Whittaker. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe like a passing of the torch. I think that would be very good. We've got Ezra Taylor there from Nottingham, my boy. There's good fights there, innit? Even like a Willie Hutchinson, I think that's a good fight. I think Ezra and Willie Hutchinson are fighting, and the Magnificent 7 card, I think that's in January or February, but I think it's January. Headlined by Moses Atama and Jermaine Franklin, I believe, innit? So yeah, for Anthony Yarde, if I'm being honest, if I'm being very honest, I feel like it's going to be a difficult one, this fight. I think it's going to be a very difficult one. I think David Benavidez is a tank, innit? Like, I think he's got very heavy power punches. He's got a wicked jab on him. And one thing about him, he comes forward, innit? Like, I feel like David Benavidez is not the type of guy where he runs around the ring. He's not on a Mickey Mouse thing. He's not a thing where you have to chase him. He wants to actually throw hands with you, innit? Like, I'm sure he throws a lot of punches and bunches. Like, I'm sure he's not a guy where he's like a singular punch type of guy, and like he's trying to get you out of there, innit? I think, me personally, I like boxers who understand that like you don't get paid for overtime, innit? Like you don't get paid for going 8 rounds when you could have like took the guy out in the 6th round. You don't get paid extra for taking it to the 10th round if you could have taken the guy out in the 7th round. If you can get the guy out of there, get him out of there. And that's what I think David Benavidez is on. Like, he's not there to just do fucking scoring punches. He's not there for that. He's actually trying to knock your block off, innit? And I think that type of fighter, with the type of fight Anthony Yarde is, I feel like Anthony Yarde's on the same thing. He's trying to bang out, innit? He's like, it's, with them two, it's literally 2 big punches that both want to just take each other's heads off, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like it's going to make for an amazing spectacle. In terms of if I think Anthony Yarde can win, I'd give personally, I've given him about a 30% chance in this fight. Not to say I don't think he's got a puncher's chance. Anyone's got a puncher's chance when you step in the ring, innit? And obviously, he can he can bang in it. Like, he can, do you know what I mean? Like, Anthony Yarde does not know, his punches aren't weak, innit? He's got a lot of punch power, innit? But I just think coming up against David Benavidez, I just think it's just one too much, innit? It's just one too much. And also, he didn't really impress me in the last fight against Lyndon Arthur. Obviously, he'd done the job, got the job done, but I felt like the performance was more laboured than I thought it would be, innit? Like, I'm not to say that I thought it was going to be easy or it was going to be a walk in the park, but I just thought it took a bit more for him to get the job done than I thought it would take. Does that make sense, innit? And I think with somebody like David Benavidez, I feel like he's moving up into the weight class, and I'm sure he got dropped by David Morrell, I believe, if I remember correctly, when he fought David Morrell. But yeah, he got dropped by David Morrell. So obviously that shows Benavidez can get dropped in it. Like, he's not invincible. No one's invincible. Like, obviously, but I think he has got a very, very solid chin. I'm not gonna say his chin's granite, but he's got a solid chin. So I just feel like, has Anthony Yarde still got that crazy punch power that's enough to knock out someone like Benavidez? Because I feel like to get the win in this one, he would have to knock him out. And I don't know if he could knock him out. I'm not sure if he could knock him out. Obviously, there's a chance in it. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a chance. Like, you got a puncher's chance in it. At the end of the day, he can fight in it. Like, Anthony Yarde can fight, but can you knock out David Benavidez? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to count him out. Obviously, AY, Beast from the East, Lions in the Camp and all of that stuff, innit? I'm not trying to count him out. You know what I'm trying to say, but I just don't know. I don't know if he's got the full technical ability to beat my man, innit? In the type of fight they're gonna have, I just think my man might just edge him. I think David Benavidez might just edge him, innit? That's what I think. The next fight on the card, we got Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. And I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with Brian Norman Jr. like that. I don't think I've seen any of his fights. I think maybe just one, but I wasn't paying attention crazy like that, innit? So I can't say I'm familiar with his game like that too tough, innit? But Devin Haney, I feel like this is a fight where Devin kind of has to win. He kind of has to win because obviously he's not coming off a loss, but he was coming off a stinker in that Riyadh Riyadh season card in New York. I don't know if you guys remember that card in Times Square. That was an absolute stinker where they shut off Times Square to have put a boxing ring in Times Square, and they were fighting there. And I can't remember who Devin was fighting. I just remember the fight was absolutely boring. Absolutely boring, mate. I'm sure the punch output in that fight was one of the lowest scored in flipping CompuBox history. Like, it was boring. Then obviously the fight previously to that was the loss to the no contest to Ryan Garcia. But obviously Ryan was on all types of PEDs in it, so obviously it turned to a no contest. Cause Ryan did beat him, but he was on drugs in it, basically, in it. But I think Devin has to win this fight. Like, genuinely, I think he has to win this fight. Because as a boxer, I do think he's very sound. I think he's technically very, very sound. I think he's a very good boxer. Like, I liked his fight against, what's that guy's name from Australia? Kambosos. I'm sure he had 2 fights with my man. I like both fights. I'm sure it was 2 fights with my man. I like both fights. I'm going to keep it real. I like both of them, innit? I thought it was good fights. I thought it was entertaining. I thought he showed his skill. But the thing about Devin, I feel like his public perception is a bit down in the dumps a bit. I feel like people don't really, ever since he sued Ryan Garcia, I feel like people don't really rate him like that as much. I feel like just people just see him a bit like why did he sue my man, innit? Do you know what I mean? I don't think people rate things like that, like taking things to like lawsuits and things like that, if that makes sense. But I think as a boxer, he's a very, very good boxer. Like, he's very, very good. But sometimes the most technical boxers aren't the most entertaining or the most easiest to watch, because sometimes them kind of boxers is like for the hardcore boxing fans. Does that make sense? Sometimes when you're that type of fighter, where it's like the boxing purists will really enjoy watching you. Like, if you're out of ring antics, rubs people the wrong way. So when I mean people, I mean the general public. Like, it can really have a knock-on effect on how people view you and just like your public perception. I feel like Devin Haney's public perception right now is not the greatest car. Even when we did find out that Ryan popped. I thought like a lot of people was on Ryan Garcia's side, not on Devin Haney's side, innit? And obviously like that's life though, innit? Life, like a lot of things in life is a popularity contest, innit? So if you're not the most popular one, then obviously you're gonna get the short end of the stick. So I think it's just kind of one of them. So this fight against Brian Norman, I don't know too much about Brian Norman. I'm gonna have to do my research on him and watch some fights, but he has to win. I think it's a must win for me, innit? I think it's a must win because if he doesn't win, I just feel like his perception is gonna keep him just going just worse and worse, innit? So I do hope he wins though. I don't mind Devin, innit? I think he's a good boxer, and just him like outside of the ring, I don't really mind him, innit? Like I don't mind him suing Ryan Garcia. If you feel like that's what he needed to do, obviously to get the did he need to sue him to actually get it turned to a no contest though? I don't know if he needed to sue him to get a no contest, but either way, it's a must-win for him. It's a must-win. Then we've got Ban Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. Now, I'm a big fan of Ban Rodriguez, a massive fan of him. I think he's the one that beat Sonny Edwards. He beat Sonny Edwards, didn't he? Like, I'm sure he mashed up his eye. I'm sure if I remember correctly. And I'm a big fan of Sonny Edwards as well. I really like Sonny still. I think Ban, he's a generational talent still. I think he's a very, very good fighter. Even in them little weights, like, he carries so much like punch power. Do you know what I mean? Like not a lot of people, like even me, sometimes when I'm watching like the lower weights, like sometimes like it's a technical fight and it's a good fight and this and that, but like there's not a lot of punch power in it. Like a lot of them, they can't get people out of there. And I like watching boxing for knockouts. I like seeing knockouts. I like seeing carnage. I like seeing, do you know what I mean? I like seeing, you know what I'm trying to say? I like seeing that in it. So sometimes with the lower weight classes, you don't really get to see that as much in it, and it takes a while, but someone like Bam, again, like he knows I don't get paid for overtime. Like you don't get paid for overtime, mate. He's trying to knock you out. He's trying to get you out of there. Like he's not trying to do 1 second more than he needs to do. And I like fighters like that because, like, yeah, man, it's boxing, but it's also entertainment. Like entertainment, like man, to see what's going on. Like yo, like I want to watch it and knowing that yo, what I'm watching, this is a crazy spectacle. This is entertaining. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to fight where it's just bare possuming and bare just feeling each other out and seeing what go on. Like, yo, like if you're going there to do a job, just do your job, innit? Do the job you're trying to do and get the guy out of there. And I feel like Bam Rodriguez is one of the kind of fighters where he gets you out of there, mate. You know what I mean? He gets you out of there. So yeah, I hope that's gonna be a good and easy win for Bam Rodriguez, even though I have seen some talk about people saying it might not be as straightforward as everyone thinks. But I'm not too familiar with Fernando Martinez, innit? So I'd have to do my research on him and see how he fights and his other fights. And we got Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Yeah, I do really like Abdullah Mason still. Like I haven't watched all of his fights. But the fights that I have seen, like he's looked very, very good. Like I'm sure he's got quite a lot of knockouts. Let me even check his box rec. Yeah, Abdullah Mason's literally 21, 19 wins and 17 by the way of knockout. Oh, bro, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, no, I'm not going to give a prediction on this fight because I feel like it'll be unfair for me to do that because even though I'm familiar with both fighters, I feel like I don't know enough about both of them for me to give a concrete prediction. But if I did have to pick one, I'll probably edge towards Abdullah Mason, just ever so slightly, innit? Because I've only seen 1 or 2 Sam Noakes fights and I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 Abdullah Mason fights, but not fully super paying attention to the fights, and so I gotta be honest and say I don't want to give a prediction if I'm not fully well versed on both fighters like that, innit? If that makes sense. But yeah, I do think it's gonna be really good still. I can't lie, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna do some videos about the fights probably the day after. Hopefully the day after, get them up on YouTube the day after. But yeah, no. Saturday, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, let's go. So yeah, the other major news in the world of boxing right now is probably Usyk letting go of the belt. Flipping, let's read a statement from the WBO right now. It says the WBO announces that Alexander Usyk has relinquished the WBO heavyweight championship. San Juan, Puerto Rico, the World Boxing Organization, announced today that it has received formal communication from Team Alexander Usyk regarding the future of the WBO heavyweight championship. After thoughtful consideration, Usyk has elected to relinquish the title, which means Fabio Wardley is now the world heavyweight champion, WBO heavyweight champion of the world, which is absolutely crazy, like absolutely amazing still. But obviously the discourse around everything, I'm seeing some people saying Usyk has ducked Fabio Wardley. They're calling it a duck, isn't it? Personally, do I think it's a duck? I wouldn't, maybe like a lowercase d duck. Like, I wouldn't call it a duckaroo. Like, I think obviously could have fought him, but we gotta be like pragmatic. Like, we gotta be pragmatic about this. Like, alright, cool. So Alexander Usyk is top of the mountain right now, yeah. And Fabio Wardley is a guy who's living a fairy tale come true type of thing. Like, his dreams come true. White collar fighter. He's climbed up the ranks. He's beat how many different types of people that obviously everyone thought he could never ever beat. Couldn't start to stand a chance against, this and that, blah blah blah. And he's now got to the position where he's now knocking on Alexander Usyk's door, and it's now a case where does Usyk decide to fight this guy who, even though it's a fairy tale story and it's amazing and this and that, realistically though, like, in the grand scheme of this boxing thing, his name doesn't hold weight commercially yet. Like, yet, innit? Like, yet. And where Usyk is in his career, like, he's getting on. I'm sorry, Usyk's about like 38. Is he 38 now? Yeah, Usyk is 38. So he's not a spring chicken, innit? So he's not, I don't think he's trying to just have frivolous fights or just have fights where like is high risk and low reward. Does that make sense? I feel like he's gonna have fights where it's, even if the risk is high, the reward is very, very high. So for example, if Usyk beats Fabio Wardley, like, how much credit is Usyk really gonna get for that win? Because we already think he's one of the best heavyweights of this generation. So if he beats a guy who's came from white collar boxing, like, he's from a white collar background, like, what does that mean or really say? Do you know what I mean? But on the other hand, if Fabio Wardley was to somehow, some way chin Alexander Usyk, like, the whole world is just flipped. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's something that obviously you can't really comprehend happening, or you can't see happening because how good Usyk is. But it's like, does Usyk want to put himself in that kind of risk or that kind of position where he could even possibly get chinned by a Fabio Wardley? Do you get what I'm going to say, Carl? It starts making things look a bit spooky, and you're going to start looking at them a bit differently. Like, how can somebody who's came from this background, how many white-collar fights did he even have? Usyk, who's had how many amateur bouts, he's had so many amateur fights, lose to somebody like Fabio Wardley. Like, it would just make people feel like, raw, like, the skill gap in boxing that people think there is not really existent. Not to say this is why I feel like Usyk is not doing it. I think part of why Usyk is not taking up the fights because, one, risk and reward, and two, this is what happened to him, innit? I feel like in the world, yeah, sometimes, yeah, people forget that, like, things and cycles repeat, innit? So, for example, like, if you're, for example, in music, if you was to sign a crappy record deal, yeah, very, very crappy record deal, you managed to, I don't know, recoup your deal, you had a couple hits, you had a few hits, everything's gone good, this and that, blah, 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 it's time to renegotiate, you renegotiate and get better terms, better splits, better everything, your deal is now better, it's good. A few years down the line, you're now a powerhouse, you're a massive artist, you decide to create your own label, you have your own label now, and you're now signing artists and giving people contracts and things like that, and the contract you're giving them, a lot of the time is not too far off the crappy contract that you initially signed, like, yourself. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that, like, things repeat. Like, sometimes the pain or the hardship or the bad times that people enforce on you, sometimes when you're in the position, sometimes not even knowingly as well, it might be subconsciously, sometimes it might be consciously, you enforce that kind of shit on other people as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So when Usyk was knocking on Tyson Fury's door for the fight, Tyson Fury was making videos telling them, yo, it's going to be like a, what did he say, 80-20 split or something like that. 80-20 to Tyson Fury. I'm sure even in the rematch after he's lost to Usyk, I'm sure Tyson still got the lion's share of the split. I'm sure he did, like, which is crazy. Like, how can you be coming off the loss, you're not the champion anymore? If I'm correct, I might be wrong if I remember correctly, but I'm sure he did. Like, I'm sure he still got the bigger slice of the purse than Usyk, even in the rematch, which is crazy to me. But it's like, if you've experienced that and you're now in a position where you hold all the marbles, it's like, am I just going to give some random guy who doesn't have that much commercial value, doesn't bring that much to the table other than like a fairy tale story that's personal to him? Like, what does Usyk care about him being from white collar boxing and blah, 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 blah? Like, obviously great, well done, but it's like, Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember Usyk's team, they want the best for Usyk. Like, they don't care about no Fabio Wardley's story or whether giving them a chance or this and that. I personally don't call it a duck. I just think, obviously, I do think Usyk, I don't think he's got that much fights left. Like, he's going to probably take, I'm sure I've seen an interview said he's trying to do another 4 or 5 fights or something. I don't know if he's got 4 or 5 fights actually in him still. I think we'll probably know if Usyk is on the ducking thing when we see a couple more matchups in it. Because so far, I'm sure he had a mandatory to fight. Was it Caballero? It was somebody, and obviously he was putting it off because obviously he said something like he's done his backing or something like that. Then now this Fabio Wardley thing where he's relinquished his belt. So if we have another situation where it looks like he's ducked or like he's taking another route instead of taking the person who's like his mandatory opponent, then we can then say, okay, cool. Maybe he is on the ducking thing. Right now, I don't know if I want to put that on him. I don't know if I want to put that coat on him. I don't know if I want to start putting that flag on Usyk that, oh, he's a ducker. Because it's like, end of the day, I think Fabio Wardley deserves the opportunity, but at the same time, I think Usyk also has earned the right to say, you know what, I don't want to take that fight. We'll see as the time goes on. So when he gets hit with more mandatories, and we'll see how he actually operates and how he moves in it. Because at the end of the day, this is like the first 2, so let's just give him a bit of time and we'll see in it. I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's about it on that. Let's see what else is going on. Let me check on Twitter. Anything that I've missed. Oh yeah, Ryan Garcia has a major fight announcement. Okay, it says it here. Fight announced: Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, February 21st. WBC welterweight title. Yeah, man, no. With Ryan Garcia, I'm not going to lie, yeah? I'm not going to lie. I feel like I don't know any other fighter that gets rewarded like how he gets rewarded for not doing anything good. Like, how has he had back-to-back, like, title challenges and he's coming off a drug ban? Like, he's coming off, like, bro was juiced up on that fight against Devin Haney, battered him. He's even like gloated or like made it seem like he's tried to even flip the script on Devin Haney. So he's done wrong, and then he's tried to flip the public perception on Devin Haney to make people not really rock with Devin Haney, even though you're the one that took drugs to go into the ring to fight my man. Do you want to say? But he's been rewarded with back-to-back title challenges because obviously he's a name, innit? Like, that's the thing I find jarring about stuff. Like, it's this type of stuff. Is like, for example, like, there's how many more people who are more deserving of an actual title challenge than Ryan Garcia. But because Ryan Garcia is such a big name, it's such a big brand, and like he brings clicks, he brings eyes, it's like he's going to keep on getting all the opportunities, he's going to keep on getting rewarded, he's going to keep on getting put in places where it's like, bro, why is this guy getting all of the flipping... Why is all the light getting shined on him when he's the guy who's literally, like, come on, like, the guy was going on tirades on Twitter, what was it, last year, like, do you know what I mean? Like, going, getting all loopy with it. Obviously, I don't know, innit? I don't know. Obviously, that's the aim of the game. With this boxing thing, it's like with the influence of boxing. I even feel like Ryan Garcia, he's one of them guys where if he can, he's going to step into that lane. I'm even surprised he hasn't already. I'm surprised he's not already in there. Do you know what I mean? Because at this moment in time, I feel like he's more of a brand than a boxer. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's more of a big brand that is like younger demographic friendly and recognizable than a full-on boxer. Cause I think he's got skills, but it's like even the skills he's got, like, bro, is it deserving of where he's at? I don't know. I don't know if I'd say yes, but it is what it is, isn't it, at this point? But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to touch up on. If you enjoyed the vid, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you've got anything to say about anything I've said in the video, jump in the comment section, man. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you got to say in it. Love.